There's a kind of pain that's deeper than any wound the body could feel. It's the pain of betrayal, not from a stranger, but from someone you loved, someone you trusted. Imagine standing in front of them, your heart still bleeding from the last cut, and knowing they'll do it again. Not once, not twice, but 70 times. Would you still open your heart? Would you still choose grace over revenge? Forgiveness sounds beautiful until you're the one who has to give it. Over and over again. That's when forgiveness stops being a nice idea and becomes a battle for your soul. One day, Peter asked Jesus a question that still echoes in every heart that's been broken. Lord, how many times must I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times. 7 times felt impossible already. 7 wounds, 7 second chances. But Jesus looked at Peter and spoke something that flipped the world upside down. Not 7 times, but 70 times 7. 70 times 7. A forgiveness without limits. A grace without walls. Jesus wasn't giving Peter a math problem. He was giving all of us a picture of what God's love looks like. It's not about keeping score. It's not about how much they deserve. It's about who we are becoming. When we choose to forgive, even when it hurts. Today, we're stepping into that radical call, into the kind of forgiveness that frees not just the one who hurt us, but frees us too. Because forgiveness was never about numbers. It was about becoming like Christ. Are you ready to walk that road? Are you ready to forgive 70 times 7 and still keep counting? 1. Forgiveness is a choice, not a feeling. Forgiveness is never a feeling first. If you wait until you feel like forgiving, you will stay imprisoned, because the deeper the betrayal, the colder the emotions become, and bitterness thrives. Where choices are abandoned, forgiveness is not a soft emotion. It's a fierce decision. It's standing in the wreckage of your trust, with a heart still bleeding, and saying, I will not let this define me. It's refusing to be shaped by the wound, and choosing instead to be shaped by grace. When Jesus said, 70 times 7, He wasn't giving us a number to count. He was giving us a mindset to live. He was teaching us that forgiveness is an act of war, a war against bitterness, against pride, against the slow death of the heart. Forgiveness is rebellion against the easy pull of hate. It's a deliberate stand on the battlefield of your soul. You choose it. Not because they deserve it, not because it's fair, but because you refuse to be a prisoner. Because freedom is worth more than revenge. Forgiveness is not about forgetting the offense. It's about refusing to let the offense own you. It's not about pretending the pain didn't matter. It's about choosing that the pain will not have the final word. It's choosing to say, this wound will not rot inside me. This anger will not be my legacy. This betrayal will not become my identity. Forgiveness is how you reclaim your story. It's how you cut the chains before they cut deeper into you. You forgive, not to erase what happened, but to erase the power it holds over your future. Forgiveness is courage. Forgiveness is power. Forgiveness is freedom. And you don't have to feel ready. You just have to choose. One choice, one breath, one act of fierce, radical grace. That's where healing begins. But if forgiveness is a choice, does it mean we must forget the betrayal? Must we pretend the scars aren't real? Let's go deeper. Because real forgiveness faces the wound without flinching. 2. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring the pain. Forgiveness does not mean pretending you were never hurt. It doesn't mean forgetting the betrayal. or brushing the wounds under the rug. God never asks us to lie about our pain. He never demands we erase the scars or silence the broken pieces inside. Pain matters. Injustice matters. The betrayal, it was real. It cut deep. It changed you. Forgiveness doesn't change the truth of what happened. It changes what happens next. When Jesus calls us to forgive, He isn't asking us to make light of the wrong. He isn't asking us to minimize the evil. He's asking us to lay down something much heavier, much harder: our right to revenge. Forgiveness is surrendering justice into the hands of God. It's standing in the rubble of your hurt and saying, I will not be judge, jury, and executioner. I will not spend my life chasing payback. I will trust that God sees and God will repay. Because vengeance feeds the wound, keeps it bleeding, chains us to the very thing we want freedom from. But when we forgive, we unchain ourselves. We step out of the courtroom and into peace. Forgiveness doesn't deny what happened. It doesn't excuse it. Forgiveness says, I choose to stop carrying this battle inside me. I choose to hand it over to the one who sees perfectly, judges perfectly, and heals perfectly. You don't have to call evil good. You don't have to pretend it didn't hurt. You just have to refuse to let evil define who you become. Forgiveness is not for the offender's sake. It's for yours. It's how you break free from the prison of anger. It's how you stop giving your past the power to poison your future. Because when you forgive, you are not letting someone else off the hook. You are letting yourself off the hook. You are stepping out of bitterness and into life. But if forgiveness frees us from anger, what does it give us, really? What does it unlock inside our souls? Let's walk deeper into the beautiful freedom that forgiveness was always meant to bring. 3. Forgiveness sets you free. When we hold on to anger, we think we're protecting ourselves. We believe that by keeping the pain close, we can stop it from happening again. But in reality, holding on to anger doesn't protect us. It traps us. It ties us to the very people and the very moments that hurt us. It keeps the wound open. It keeps the memory sharp, and it steals our peace day after day. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks that prison. It doesn't mean what happened was right. It doesn't mean the pain didn't matter. Forgiveness simply says, I will not carry this burden any longer. I choose to let go before it destroys me. Because when we refuse to forgive, it's like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Bitterness eats away at our joy. It clouds our vision. It turns our hearts hard and cold. And little by little, it makes us someone we were never meant to be. But when we forgive, something shifts inside us. We release the grip of anger. We break the chain of resentment. We give ourselves permission to heal. Forgiveness is how we take back control of our lives. It's how we stop being defined by what others did to us. It's how we say, their actions do not get to decide my future. Their betrayal does not get the final word over my life. When you forgive, you are not setting them free. You are setting yourself free. You are making room for peace to grow where pain once lived. You are opening space for hope to rise again. You are reclaiming your heart for something better. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's not letting someone get away with it. It's courage. It's strength. It's saying, I will not live chained to this moment forever. Forgiveness is how your soul breathes again. It's how the story doesn't end with pain, but with redemption. But if forgiveness is so powerful, how do we make it part of our everyday life? How do we forgive not just once, but again and again? Let's step deeper into living forgiveness as a way of life. 4. 70 times 7. Forgiveness as a way of life. When Peter asked Jesus, "How many times should I forgive?" he thought forgiveness had a limit. Maybe 7 times. Maybe enough to prove he was merciful. But Jesus shattered that idea. Not 7 times, he said, but 70 times 7. 70 times 7. Not as a number to track, but as a mindset to live by. Because Jesus knew hurt doesn't come just once. Pain, betrayal, disappointment, they visit us again and again. And if forgiveness is only a one-time event, our hearts will grow heavy. Our spirits will grow hard. Forgiveness must become a way of life, not just something we do when we feel spiritual, not just something we offer once and think we're done. Forgiveness is a daily posture, a daily choice, a daily surrender. It's choosing every day, I will not carry yesterday's bitterness into today's peace. It's choosing every moment, I will not let what happened to me decide who I am becoming. Living a life of forgiveness means expecting that offenses will come. It means preparing your heart in advance so you're not caught off guard. It means waking up every day and deciding, whatever comes today, I choose grace. Whatever wounds I receive, I choose healing. But this kind of forgiveness cannot depend on how others treat us, because people will fail. People will hurt us, sometimes without even realizing it. If our forgiveness is based on their repentance, or their apology, or their change, we will stay trapped. Real forgiveness is unconditional because it isn't about them. It's about who we are called to be. A life of forgiveness is a life of freedom. It's the only way to walk lightly, to love deeply, to live fully. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the highest form of strength. It's how we live above the offenses of this world, instead of being dragged down by them. Forgiving 70 times 7 means we choose peace over pride. We choose mercy over memories. We choose grace over grudges. Every day, every moment. Without counting. Because forgiveness isn't just what we do. Forgiveness is who we are. But if forgiveness must be unconditional, if it must be given even when others don't deserve it, how can we keep forgiving when there's no apology? Let's step even deeper. 5. Forgive even without an apology. Sometimes, the apology you long for never comes. Sometimes, the person who hurt you never looks back. They keep walking, as if your pain meant nothing. And there you are, holding the pieces, holding the silence, holding the weight of something you never asked for. It's easy to believe that forgiveness should wait. Wait for them to change. Wait for them to understand. Wait for them to say the words you deserve to hear. But Jesus never told us to wait. He never said, forgive only if they apologize. Forgive only if they show they're sorry. He simply said, forgive. 70 times 7, because forgiveness was never about them. It was always about your freedom. If you tie your healing to their apology, you stay chained to their choices. You hand over your peace to someone who already broke your trust. Forgiveness breaks that chain. Forgiveness says, I choose to live free, even if they never change. I choose to heal, even if they never say they're sorry. Because your healing, your peace, was never supposed to depend on someone else. It was meant to flow from the heart of God to yours. The truth is, if we only forgive when people apologize, most of us will stay stuck forever. Some people will never see what they did. Some people will never understand how deep the wound really was. But their blindness doesn't have to become your prison. Forgiveness is not about forgetting what happened. It's about refusing to let what happened define you. It's about choosing to move forward without carrying the weight of anger, of bitterness, of endless waiting. When you forgive without an apology, you are not saying it didn't matter. You are saying, I will not let it control me anymore. You are saying, my heart was made for more than hate. You are stepping into the same grace that Jesus offered you, long before you ever asked for it, long before you even knew you needed it. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Forgiveness is how you echo heaven in a broken world. It's how you mirror the heart of Christ. In places where pain tried to have the final word, it's how you say, this wound will not define my future. This betrayal will not poison my spirit. This offense will not steal my joy. Forgiveness is strength. It's rising when everything inside you wants to stay bitter. It's loving, even when it would be easier to hate. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself, a gift you carry into every relationship, every dream, every future day that deserves to be free from yesterday's chains. And in forgiving, you don't just set yourself free. You become a living reflection of the grace that saved you. You become a vessel of hope in a world drowning in anger. You shine with a freedom that nothing and no one can steal. Forgiveness beyond limits. Today, we have walked a sacred path. We learned that forgiveness is not something you feel your way into. It's something you decide, even when it hurts. We saw that forgiveness doesn't erase the wrong, it releases the wrong into God's hands. We discovered that forgiveness is how you set yourself free, how you unlock the chains of bitterness and breathe again. We realized that forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle, a rhythm of grace, a reflection of the heart of heaven. And we understood that true forgiveness doesn't wait for an apology. It chooses freedom. Over and over, 70 times 7, and still counting. Friend, you may feel weak today, wounded, unsure, but you are stronger than you know, because grace is stronger than any hurt you carry. You don't have to be ready to forgive. You just have to be willing. You just have to take the first step. Right now, I invite you to pause, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and whisper, God, I choose to forgive. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be complete. It just has to begin. Today, let the healing start. Today, choose to walk free. And if this journey stirred something in your heart, don't stop here. Keep walking with me. In the next video, how Jesus healed the deepest betrayals, a blueprint for inner peace. You'll discover how the deepest wounds can lead to the deepest healing. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. Grace is still reaching for you. Let's keep walking this road together.